the month of June. It's summertime, so I thought to make a video to show you how to roll or put together a summer roll. Some may call it a spring roll, summer roll. It's basically the same thing. I think the name of it came from the fact that what's inside the roll, so it consists of fresh vegetables for that season. So let's talk about what goes inside the roll, the fillings for the roll. First off is you would need a platter of this, a platter of green stuff. So what I have here is the lettuce leaf. I have the romaine lettuce. Remember, there was a time where these guys were bad, but that's not the time. So we're good on romaine lettuce. I have basil leaf, I have mint, and I have chives. So that's the platter of green that I am using. The other is a plate of fresh vegetables, and I'm using jicama, cucumber, carrots, and I have a little bit of a pineapple here. I'm going to show you the option if you don't like meat to use pineapple. It's delicious. So if you don't know what a jicama is, this is what it looks like. I love jicama in a summer roll. I think that's rarely used in a restaurant. If you go to a Thai or a Vietnamese restaurant and order a summer roll, it's typically not included, but in my opinion, it should be, because they are very crunchy, they're sweet, and they're nutty. So it's kind of like a mix between a water chestnut and an apple. It's really good, and you kind of need something that's crunchy in a roll to have that texture to the bite, because everything else in the filling has to be soft and thin in order for the rice puncture, the rice paper not to break or puncture up. So we talk about the vegetables, protein. The traditional Vietnamese spring roll or summer roll has poached pork and shrimp, so I have those here. And I have avocado here. This is one of my favorite new things now. So instead of pork, I'm going to use avocado for myself. My family love pork. That's the traditional Vietnamese summer roll. And my mom, actually, she used the pork belly. It's delicious, but it's not very healthy. This is something that's optional. I'm not going to use it for my roll, but my family, I'll add this in. This is vermicelli. It's rice noodle. You can certainly use this or leave it out if you are in a low carb option. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and start rolling now that you know what goes in there. So we're going to go ahead and dip the rice paper into the tub of water and just let that sit for about 10 or 15 seconds. So the way that I do this, I don't let it sit in the tub of water, but I just kind of slide it in and I rotate it and just make sure all the excess water, kind of get that out, and just let it sit right here. You can certainly, meditate, go have a glass of something, but you won't be able to work with it right away because it takes about 10 to 20 seconds to get that dry paper to be rehydrated. So once this is, now that it's translucent and it's soft and it's moist, I can work with it. So I'm gonna take a lettuce leaf right here. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. And I'm just gonna start building. There's no wrong or right way of doing this. So you wanna start building your roll. So I'm just gonna pile up a cucumber, a jicama. I'm gonna add my herbs in here. Actually, the herbs I'm gonna add later. I'm gonna go ahead and cut an avocado first. And the way that I do cut the avocado, I don't slice it and then spoon it out, but rather I just cut it into fourths like this, and you can really easily, well, Normally it's easily peeled, but this one is not completely ripe yet, and so you can just get your knife and get that thing out, and then just slice it thinly on your board. So that's pretty good. So it should look something like this. I'll put that aside. Put 2 here on mine. Now I'm gonna put the leaf over it because the avocado, it's like butter, so it's kind of hard to work with. So I'm gonna cover it up with the 2 basil leaf. Actually gonna add in 1 more minty leaf and then add in my carrots. So now I'm ready to roll, right? But not quite, because I like shrimp. So the beauty of a summer roll is that you can add any topping that you want. So if you don't like shrimp, don't put it in there. With the shrimp, what I just did, if you have a big, gigantic shrimp like this, so just put it on the board, take a knife and kind of cut it in half. So that way it's easier to roll with. Actually, gonna add 3 shrimp on mine because I like shrimp. So I just pile it up like that toward the end. Corner like this. Press the shrimp and make sure that it stays right there. It's kind of slippery because I just cut it. And then you want to grab the chives from your green platter, and just as you're folding it in, actually I want a little bit more chives. So I'm gonna add that in, roll it, and here you go. This is your summer roll with avocado, and I put a pineapple in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside and do 1 more. I dipped earlier, but I left it on the board for too long, so it becomes sticky. So with rice paper, it's very sensitive. Sensitive to water, sensitive to if you leave it outside for too long and not in a plastic bag like this, it's gonna go curl up. So once you dip it into water, make sure you're ready to roll. So with everything else about the summer roll, you just there's a lot of preparation that go into it, but once you have things prepared, you can go ahead and start rolling. So I'm gonna do the traditional way, which is pork and noodles. Traditional Vietnamese spring roll. So got my noodles, I'm gonna add in my mint. I'm gonna move pretty quickly here. My jicama, cucumber, I'll add in my pork, 2 pieces of pork. I'm gonna get the carrots in there, roll this bad boy up. Actually I forgot shrimp, so let me go ahead and add in the shrimp. Cut out 1 more. Add the shrimp in there. See if I can tuck this guy in real quick here. Roll that up. And then the chives. Tuck that in. So this is your traditional summer roll with pork. So I'll leave that there. We haven't talked about the sauce. So let's talk about the sauce. I'm gonna turn the stove top on really quick. Move that water out of the way. I'll show you what the sauce. I'm gonna make the sauce a little bit more complex, but for those of you at home that are in a hurry and you don't have time to make a complex sauce, I'll show you a quick and an easy version in a little bit, but I'm gonna show you this version if you have the time, because it's just so tasty. So what I'm doing is I add in a little bit of cooking oil, and then I'm adding in shallots and garlic. Lots of shallots and garlic. And I want to fry this up. I want that aroma of the garlic and the shallots together because it's just delicious. Add in a little bit more oil. Perfect. Okay, while that's adding up, let me show you another tip. One way to keep the rice paper, the summer roll to stay fresh is that you take it, once you roll it, put it in a plastic. I know that's not very environmental friendly, but if you put it in a plastic and just roll it up like this, it can sit outside for a period of 3 or 4 hours. So this is perfect for you if you're looking for a healthy version to pack for your lunch. Do this. Or if you have a container that won't stick, the rice paper won't stick to it, definitely use that. So once the shallots and the garlic are lightly brown, and I can smell that smells really good, you can start to add in the recipe for the sauce. So what I'm using is hoisin sauce. That's the basic for the peanut sauce. So because I'm making this a complex sauce, I'm gonna make a batch. And what I don't use today, what my family and I are not using today, I'm gonna put it in a jar and stick that in the refrigerator. But for those of you at home that don't want to do this, there's a shortcut. And again, I promise I will show that to you. The next thing that you want to add is the peanut butter. And I like the peanut butter with the crunchy peanut to it. So that's it. Add in one more. So I'm using a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's say, I think I have about a cup of the hoisin sauce in there. A cup of the hoisin sauce, then I'm going to add in a half cup of the peanut butter. And then, because those two things are pretty thick, as you can see, it's pretty thick, you will need to dilute that with a liquid. So let's talk about that liquid. You can certainly use water if you want to, but I like to add a little bit more flavor to the sauce. So I'm using Coco Rico can of coconut soda. So for a cup of the hoisin sauce, I'm using half. So the ratio is 2-1-1. 2 of the hoisin sauce, 1 peanut butter, and 1 of the soda. And if you don't have this, you can certainly use club soda, water, wine, whatever wine that you're drinking, as long as you make it white wine. Then you're good to go. And you just mix this up. And you have yourself a delicious, delicious peanut sauce, dipping sauce for your summer roll. So the other option, if you are in a hurry and you don't want to make a whole batch, and cooking in a pan is not an option, is that you take this right here. Just want to make sure this is boiling up slowly and not very high. Just add in your sauce in a cup right here. Scoop in your peanut butter. Add in a little bit of the soda or water, and just start mixing it up in your dipping bowl that you're going to use. So that's basically it. It's a very simple dipping sauce. I made this for my sister, and one of the guests asked me what I put in the peanut sauce, and I told her just 3 ingredients, and she did not believe me. She said, I'm hiding a secret. There's no secret to this peanut butter sauce. It's just very simple. It's hoisin sauce, peanut butter, and whatever liquid, clear liquid that you're using. I use the coconut soda, but you can certainly use whatever you want. The other way is my mom, when she make the sauce, she tend to put in the chili sauce directly into the pot and mix that up. I'm not going to do that because I think it tastes better whenever I'm ready to eat, like right now. Then I'll just put it into my dipping sauce and I'll do it that way. But this batch right here, I'm going to store it for later in the week, or it can sit in your refrigerator for up to a month. So I'm not going to add the chili sauce, but my family, whenever I serve this up, they will add the chili sauce at the time that they're eating. I think it tastes better. It makes the chili more spicier, it's fresher that way, instead of cooking the chili sauce inside the pot. So that's another tip. Plus, if you're doing this for your guests, some of them cannot handle the spices of the chili sauce. So don't do that. Don't mix that, but have a separate bowl of chili sauce for your guests. The other option, if you're allergic or you have guests, family member that are allergic to peanut and you can't handle peanut butter or you can't use it, is to use sesame paste. So sesame paste come in a small jar like this, and unfortunately it has Chinese or Korean word on here, but on the label where the pricing is, you're going to see sesame paste, and it has the same nutty taste to it without the peanut. So try using that. You can purchase this at any of the Asian grocery store. So sesame paste, substitute that for peanut butter if you have guests or family member that are allergic. So let me go ahead and taste this roll that I made earlier real quick here. The sauce is coming together. It looks pretty good. So this is what your sauce would look like right here. And I'm just gonna serve myself some right now, and then the rest of the family member, whenever they're ready to eat, they can add their own chili sauce. But I'm gonna taste this. This is the one that I made earlier with avocado and shrimp. So let me taste this and see what we're talking about here. So, love the crunchiness of jicama. I mentioned that before, but it's worth mentioning it again. Very, very good. Summer roll. So good. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I'm gonna make a Korean rice bowl, and I'll be using all the side dishes to roll that into a rice paper wrapper. So stay tuned for the next